1, 2, 3. Oh, it's smoky on the sides! Oh.
Hi guys, it's Madison. Welcome back to my little corner on the internet. Today we are talking about the small business loans that Jeffree Star, FaZe Clan, and MrBeast company all received. But first, before we get into it, if you enjoy deep dives, don't forget to subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up if you like this video. The comment that I'm choosing to highlight in this video is this one. If you want to be featured in the next video, leave a funny or interesting comment down below. And well, let's get into it. Last Wednesday, Mashable reported that YouTube's very own MrBeast LLC, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and FaZe Clan were recipients of the Paycheck Protection Program, aka PPP loans. PPP loans, which are intended to help small businesses during the 2020, whatever 2020 is, whatever is going on right now. It's supposed to help small businesses during this time. Small businesses. MrBeast frequently gives away millions and millions of dollars.
Last person to leave this pit of money wins $20,000. I bought this entire island. I have 10 challenges and we have 10 people. And the last one of you to leave this island keeps it. Please put your right hand on this cash. Dead serious. Last one of you to take your hand off this $1 million stack of cash keeps it. As you guys know, I like to give away money, but in this video, we're gonna do it a little different. I'm gonna give people a choice. Would you rather have this $10,000 in cash or this key that goes to something expensive?
So definitely small businesses in need of a PPP loan. Jeffree Star and MrBeast received around $350,000 to $1 million in PPP loans.
How much do you make a year?
And FaZe Clan received $1 to $2 million in PPP loans.
Welcome to the new FaZe house.
PPP loans, that's starting to sound really weird in my head, are part of the Federal CARES Act and designed to keep workers on payroll during this economic crisis. If all of the funds are put towards rent, payroll, and utilities, the SBA claims that the loans will be completely forgiven. So why did companies like MrBeast and Jeffree Star Cosmetics, which built brands around their founders having extravagant, massive amounts of wealth and doing excessive philanthropy, how did those companies receive a PPP loan when so many companies are going bankrupt right now or struggling who are genuinely small businesses that need these loans? Well, you know, poor MrBeast and his company. The Verge reported that in 2018, most of MrBeast's income came through brand deals. And a representative from MrBeast's company said that because of current times, a lot of brand partners have dropped out. Therefore, poor MrBeast lost a lot of sponsorships. And how else is he supposed to give away an island to somebody without brand deals? PPP loans, of course. Now, the company claims it received a loan for its 40 employees, but if you think about it, the money that they use to do these extravagant giveaways, extravagant philanthropy, that is about what they've received from the PPP loans. So if instead they just didn't do that giveaway and put that money towards maybe giving it to their own employees, maybe that loan could have actually gone to small businesses who need it. So I'm sorry, but the logic just doesn't work for me. It's like, if you need to pay 40 employees at this time and don't have enough incoming cash to do so, instead of spending millions of dollars on these extravagant video concepts, just give that money to your employees for the meantime. And let the small businesses have their loan. Jeffree Star is a fairly large cosmetics brand, and though the end of 2020 has been just so hard for Voldemort and his company, with Morphe cutting ties, with controversy with Shane Dawson, poor guy, just had it so rough. It's not like he had it coming in any way. He obviously just needed a little bit of help. He had nowhere else to go, nothing else to sell or to do. He was just struggling so much. Obviously, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, even with their setbacks this year, are doing so much better than so many small businesses during this time. YouTube doesn't want me to say it.
Just got here from Italy and I see tiny peeks through the window right now and I am dying. All right, and I brought an old friend. I thought you would help me destroy.
Finish her off, sister. Let's get rid of her once and for all.
But seriously, there are so many small businesses that are genuinely hurting right now. These small businesses are not struggling through the fault of their own and the many controversies that they've been involved in for kind of being an evil villain character on the internet, but they're actually struggling because of current events and need assistance. Lee Trink, the CEO of FaZe Clan, which was valued at $240 million in November, told Mashable that the loan allowed the company to retain all of its employees. I think the main reason why these loans are particularly shocking is that we see the faces of these companies every day on social media showing off their extravagant wealth, basically flexing on everyone every single day. So it's hard to believe that their companies were just so desperate for money during this time. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad companies were able to pay their employees, but when you look at the homes and cars of all of these founders, it's like, so you couldn't help out your own employees? So many small businesses have applied for PPP loans and haven't received any and are really hurting right now. I mean, just at the beginning of all of this, we saw Jeffree Star doing these money giveaways and sending money to people, but you had to take out a small business loan? You couldn't maybe send money to your own employees? You had to take a loan away from other small businesses? I mean, if Jeffree Star Cosmetics, FaZe Clan, and MrBeast company all received $1 million in loans, that's $3 million. Imagine what that kind of money could do for small businesses who really need it right now. But even though a lot of people are talking about these companies receiving PPP loans, they are not the only large businesses that are receiving these loans. They're just the companies with public figure founders. According to the Washington Post, data released by the SBA, or Small Business Association, showed that businesses owned by members of Congress, as well as the law practice that represents President Trump, were among the hundreds of thousands of firms that received aid from the agency. The SBA also gave loans to private schools who are catering to elite clientele, firms that were owned by foreign companies, and large chains backed by Wall Street. This SBA data was only released after weeks of pressure from lawmakers and media outlets. And the data shows just how haphazard and barely put together this PP system was. It was this strange first come, first serve basis of just handing out money to almost any business that applied for it, and wasn't designed at all to evaluate the needs of small businesses who were applying. Small businesses. So any company could make themselves appear to be a small business by leaving out the important data of how big their company is and only including data that made their company look small. And all of a sudden, they were getting a PPP loan. And that's how PF Chang's became a small business in need of a loan. And most importantly, the SBA did not filter out any companies that had conflicts of interests or were affiliated with any political or public figures. Major chains with private equity investors received millions in PPP loans. Millions. The Treasury Department did have some of these companies pay the money back, but it's concerning that they got it in the first place. It seems like the SBA just created a free-for-all for PPP loans. And even though in theory it was intended for small businesses, in practice it was not. My mom said something to me once that actually had a huge impact on me and is kind of an inspiration for a lot of what I do on my channel. She said, whenever there's a system, there are people who are actively working to abuse the system. I personally think that the SBA created a horrible, lazy almost system where anyone was able to apply and receive small business loans. And what company is ever going to turn down $1 million? Even if there are people who need it way more than they do. It's the very sad truth, and I'm really confused as to why the SBA created a system that can be so easily abused. I'll try and provide a list of the major companies who received PPP loans during this time, because it's been shown that when faced with public pressure, these companies do give the money back, like Shake Shack. And unfortunately with this situation, I don't really have much hope with the SBA, and I kind of feel like only our voices will really enact any sort of positive change and force these companies to give the money back which they wrongfully received in the first place. With every video, my hope for businesses doing the ethical or the right thing is slowly diminishing.